The first president is obviously George Washington. Most Americans know this. Best thing about him? Basically created the office of the presidency, including the cabinet and what a commander-in-chief is supposed to do. Worst thing about him? Owned slaves. The second president, John Adams. Best thing about him? Created the American Navy. Worst thing about him? Didn't know how to handle the press. Our third president, Thomas Jefferson. Best thing about him? Doubled the size of the United States. Worst thing about him? Had an affair and illegitimate children with a slave, all of whom he refused to free. The fourth president, James Madison. Best thing about him? He basically wrote the Constitution. Worst thing? In addition to being a slave owner, he got the U.S. into War of 1812, which sucked and the British easily won. The fifth president, James Monroe. Best thing about him? Monroe Doctrine, telling Europe to stay out of the Western Hemisphere. Worst thing about him? Probably the slavery owning. Pretty good president, very underrated.